Hello gamers, it me, back, but with Star Citizen this time. I just started to hyperfixate a little bit on the game over the last week. But Michael, you say, it's been 2 weeks-ish since your last video. Well, I had a concert, the second concert week in a row, and then I got the flu. And it's kind of just been leading up to midterms because I just finished my last midterm today. And it's just been a lot, and school comes first because it's the last semester and it needs to be done. But when I had the flu over the last week, I kind of just started to hyperfixate on Star Citizen again. And you can see I did some off-screen mining, as the Minecraft YouTubers would say. Off-screen trading, honestly. Bought the Drake Vulture. Tried out salvaging. Tried out salvaging a lot, because I wanted the Vulture for a long time. Ultimately, TLDR, really kind of disappointed with the balance for the salvaging gameplay loop. Really enjoy the gameplay loop. Thoroughly enjoy the gameplay loop, but with the Vulture, you're only making construction rubble, and you barely get any construction materials, and you still got the refining costs. You still gotta, it's I'm only making probably, depending on the size of the contract, which I usually don't go above 5,000 because there's still enough bugginess that there's a chance that it won't spawn, especially starting out here. I mean, you see that I only had 2,000 credits, so it's less high stakes than trading because I've learned the hard way, shall we say, over the last week, that trading is still high risk, high reward due to the buggy nature of the video game. It doesn't help that 4.7 has been periodically rolled out over the last week, and more on that to come later in the video. But yeah, TLDR did a lot of salvaging, tried a lot of different methods, tried to make it work, but ultimately was disappointed with my lack of success. I really enjoy the gameplay loop, really enjoy tracing. I just trace the holes off of the thing, but wish that I got a little bit more AUC for it. Really like the concept of the Vulture, really like the concept of the Reclaimer and stuff, but I don't see how, going into a ship, taking out all of the components, moving them into your cargo hold, taking up that SCU space that could otherwise be used on construction materials. I don't see how that, after the engineering update, making you, 5,000 credits on a small ship, maybe 10,000 on a big ship, that I don't see how that's worth it. And that's the main thing I was disappointed at. After the engineering update, you see all these terminals and these attempts at crafting, which is getting fully rehauled and put in the game in this new update. All of these precursors in the engineering update, and it's just like, okay, well, that's really cool, but I don't make any credits from caring about that, and so why should I care about that? But I do like salvaging gameplay loop just because I can, talk to people and scrap a ship. Don't have to really use more than 25% of my brain. And it's cute. It's a cute gameplay loop, not really that profitable ultimately. I also tried the event, tried to get some, instead of doing legal salvage in Stanton, I tried to do, found salvage in Nyx. Tried to make Nyx my home station for a while, Levski my home station for a while, and was also kind of disappointed with the lack of content in Nyx. And don't get me wrong, I've been enjoying the gameplay all the while. I just wish it was a little bit more rewarding. You know, after all of this lead up, I wanted to pledge the Vulture for a long time, and my friend talked me out of it because he's like, just earn the 2 million credits. So I finally traded up to it. All of this, finally got the urge to play Star Citizen again after some desire for complexity after playing Elite to death and getting stuck with just jump loops in Elite for that series, which is still going to go on, by the way. But yeah, I just wanted to try Star Citizen again. Really excited for 4.7, and just let down by Salvage, let down by Nyx. But the good thing is I'm expanding my fleet, and the good thing is I'm still kind of hyperfixating on it despite about 5-ish million credits of loss in the last week due to freight elevators, crashes. You'll see one later in the video that we'll talk about that kind of sparked this video, which is aptly named and absolutely 100% unironically called Not Me Having a Raft. That is literally unironically not me having a raft, not like Gen Z slang for, not me having a raft. No, it's I have 2.5 million credits, and I should have about 3.5 million credit. I should have, a lot more than that, but I kind of got the last straw today when Wave 5 was released for the PTU, but we'll see that soon. Anyway, disappointed with Nyx, disappointed with salvaging. One of the PTU patch notes in 4.7 says that they're not committed to Nyx contracts in this patch, so Nyx is probably going to remain relatively empty for the time being, if I had to guess. But I like the event from a lore standpoint. It's got that going for it. But as far as gameplay, I tried mining as well. The silver lining here is, I got back into mining because I'm trying to make these credits and trying to find these materials for the event. And so I got into salvage, discovered my love of tracing things. Got back into mining, used this prospector that I pledged for. Here you see it. I figured out that you can, call me stupid, but I finally figured out that you can use the Argo ore pods instead of the MISC ones and gain an additional 12 SCU in the, or is it 16? I think it's 16 SCU in the prospector. And so did that. From the last wipe, all of my outfitting was gone except for the prospector, so I still have my outfitting from the prospector, but not any of my other ships, which is fine. But I figured I'd take the prospector out for a haul, especially since with 4.7 there will be a mining rework. So I've been doing a lot of research, been jumping back and forth all over the place, watching videos, asking AI. There's been a lot of experimentation in various levels. I found a bunch of cool tools. I love the tools for Elite Dangerous, and there are some pretty good ones for Star Citizen, and I'll link all the ones that I've been using in the description. None of them are, I don't think, uncommon, but just something to know about if you're new or curious. Also been trying to make like an AI chatbot to be my computer in Star Citizen. So call me geeky, but I like to roleplay. And so when you're alone in a ship, solo crewing, the only guy you got to talk to is the computer. So why not make a computer talk to you like it's a computer? And I've been having fun with that. I tried Wingman AI, which has a lot of potential, but if you're not going to use a subscription service, you got to run a local LLM, and I just don't have enough RAM for that. I have 64 gigs of RAM, and I can run the chatbot on the local LLM, or I can run Star Citizen, but I cannot run both. So, once RAM prices drop again, I will probably integrate that into my gameplay. But for now, I'm sticking with voice attack, and ChatGPT is kind of a cloud-based and more it's slightly less intense in-game tool. But I'm having a lot of fun regardless, and I enjoy chatting with the computer. And I just enjoy role-playing in general, as you probably can tell. But anyway, figured out all the quant prices, places. I figured out a pretty good gameplay loop for quant and made a couple more million credits. I rented a RAFT because, as you see, like, I've kind of been planning out like a rags to riches, if you will. It's going to end with the whole sea. It's going to end with the mole. And the journey there is for the raft, with the raft. And, I really enjoy the whole A, but 64 SKU, just not cutting it anymore. Especially with all of the cargo that I'm bringing back and refining from the prospector trips, and all of the quant, and all of the, tools that I'm using to kind of maximize trading. I just need more hull space. And so here you see me loading a bunch of cargo that I procured via mining and salvaging onto the hull A, bringing it to Area 18. I know I could probably get, I absolutely could get better prices elsewhere if I wanted to jump all over Tarnation. But I figured I'm wearing the Arc Corp suit from, a couple events ago that I made videos on. I might as well donate to Arc Corp and do a little bit of role playing in there. And it's also just convenient. It's right next to the home station I settled on, which is Arc L2, I think. And so it's pretty quick, and on the way back you can make a quick jump to Begini Point, make a couple 100,000 credits, and it's a good location. It might not be the best, but it works for me. It works for my purposes. But yeah, lost about 5 million credits over the course of 5 or 6 different bugs, mostly having to do with trading or hauling. One of the good things about trading contracts is there's not really any investment required. You don't really lose anything if it bugs out. Negative is it is not as good as, obviously procuring your own materials, or it can be quite lucrative, but usually, especially once you have that investment money to spend, probably not going to make you as many credits as privatized trading using tools and commodity trading like that. It's really discouraging. I probably lost about as much as I've made over the last week, which is both encouraging and discouraging. Encouraging in the fact that I've made 10 million credits in a week, and that's like more than I've ever made before. And kind of figuring it out and finding all these different gameplay loops and enjoying it, more importantly, while doing it, and continuing to come back and but discouraging for obvious reasons that half of my progress is gone into the aether. But I find a little roleplay opportunities. When I lose cargo in a trade elevator, well, the cargo crew appropriated it. There's crime in Stanton on the down low. It's not Pyro, where it's just anybody is just free for all. But I try and have a little bit of fun with it. What sparked this video, however, is one that I did not have a lot of fun with, as you'll see here in a second. Area 18 is great. It's you can always sell everything, which is great. Convenient, not horrible prices, close to my home station, but takes a while to dock a lot of the time, especially with small craft. Dock and take off and get landing permissions. And it's just a long walk everywhere. Here I am renting the RAFT and stuff, and I buy an Atlas as well because I wanted to play with that. But I don't know. slight non sequitur, but it's just it's really disappointing when things don't work, when things say flight ready and then they're not flight ready. You know, I buy the RAFT, instantly put it into the thing, elevator doesn't work. Take out the Atlas, doesn't move. And you know, you gotta relog like instantly right out of the bat, and it's just like you never have that experience in Elite. It's kind of just like a smooth, contiguous thing. And sometimes you have sessions where it's like really good, and then sometimes you have sessions where a PTU wave is coming out, and it's just like, oh, well, there's $1 million worth of, 1 million credits worth of cargo just evaporated. So you know, it's a double-edged sword. It's a bittersweet experience playing Star Citizen, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. I wish the game loved me as much as I love it. It has so much potential, but it's just not there yet. But at the same time, you know, I've only been playing the game less than a year. I started in May of 25, my account says. You know, even just back then, I remember having to run all the way from Area 18 spawn every single time. You know, I don't think there was pyro even. You know, there weren't all of these updates coming out. There weren't as many events as far as I recall. You know, I was just kind of a confused little guy that just wanted to play spaceship game. And now I'm really kind of learning the ropes and maximizing my profit, and I'm really excited for 4.7. In fact, after I publish this video, I'm going to play 4.7 PTU, which is the reason for this gameplay footage and this video. Wave 5 hit in about 30 seconds here, about 3 hours of real life time away, and lost me this final 1 million credits worth of cargo, this full cargo haul. There it is. Yep, that's wave 5 right there. So yeah, it was a little bit perturbing, to say the least. Perturbing, vexing even. It grinds my gears. It still does. And you know, here, the remainder of the video is just me like praying to CG gods that my cargo is still somewhere, but it's a spoiler. It's not. It's gone. So that is why the title of the video is not me having a raft, is because this video was originally, the next Star Citizen video was going to be me with the Vulture and the raft, but I figured this little anecdote at the end would be funny. Regardless, I always try and impart a lesson, and I think the lesson is life is bittersweet. Everything is bittersweet. Everything is imperfect, unfortunately. But finding that silver lining and finding things that are worth the bitter part, the sweet that makes the bitter worth it, are good. And you know, it's not going to be the same for everyone. Obviously, some people would just completely quit the game. I mean, I still follow r/Star Citizen refunds to read the rants of why different people quit and want to sell their accounts. But you know, that's not me quite yet. I'm still coming back to it. Like I said, I'm gonna go play 4.7 right hugging now. I don't know, it's just, you know, don't always focus on the negatives. It's only a game. Why you have to be mad? And the negatives are there, and they suck, but they don't wholly always negate the positives. And so that's my quick little update, my little Star Citizen. Expect Elite next, as well as ADND, and probably some more Star Citizen after that. Over spring break, which is this week, so I'll try and publish a few videos. All right, so long.